tonight. Hopefully, some people will show up today. I know it's last minute. It's one of those things where, I never know when I'm going to have the time or energy to go live. So I cannot find my camera. So hopefully this is good enough. Just wait for some people to come on. If anybody comes on. If no one comes on, then, well, can't say I didn't try today. I can't stay on long anyways. I got some other stuff to do. But I wanted to come on and chat for a little bit. If anyone's around, I did say that I was going to be on, so hopefully people saw it. So when you get here, go ahead and say hi, so I know that I have people here. Hey, Molly, how are you? I know it's not my normal time to come on. I usually go on later, but I'm trying to do it when it's quiet in here, or as quiet as I can have it. And I've got a reading later, so I wanted to just chit-chat about how things are going, kind of, what my plans for the future are. I want to talk about the new information that's coming through at Delphi and how it fits. I still have not gotten Ariel's reading out, and that's my next thing I want to do. I'm going to try to get it done tonight. Just got to see. I've been kind of doing a lot of readings, and I've been feeling sick from all the readings I'm doing because I'm not used to it. So energetically, I'm, getting drained. So yeah, hopefully we get at least some people here today. I dyed my hair. What do you guys think? Also cut the crap out of it. So when you guys get here, just say hey, so I know you're here. I don't expect to have a lot of people today. I really don't. So we'll see how it goes. I can't make it a super long live either. I've got to go let my goats out. They haven't been out. Didn't go out yesterday, so got to get them out today. I have to kind of let the goats out, let the dogs in, because they bark at them. So it's a little different setup than what I'm used to having in my new house. Because yes, I moved. I'm here in Arizona now. And it's taken some adjustment. It's a major adjustment. And that's another reason why I haven't been live, because I just been trying to adjust and make time. Humility. And also make time because of, I've been doing a lot of readings. I've been really busy, which is a good thing. It's a good thing, but it doesn't leave a lot of time to work on cases and whatnot, and trying to balance everything. If you guys have TikTok and you have not followed me yet, please do so. If I can get 1,000 followers on there, I can also go live on there. So I'm trying to be more active in places and do more things. Get out there more. It's time. I mean, I've been doing this for 9 years. People should be more aware by now than they are. So, thank you, Melly Mel. Appreciate that. I hope so. I put it in a ponytail and just chopped it off. So, I got tired of it. It was like so knotted and I got sick of it, so I just cut it off. My readings, see, I always want to do like live readings for you, and that's what I'm going to try to start doing. I want to start getting on here and trying to practice my live readings, because I've always connected via typing just because that's how I connect best. I started off my gifts with auto writing, and also it's good for the clients because they get to keep the reading. It's not easy to record a telephone call or, video chat or anything like that. And sometimes we need to go back and look at the readings. It's good to have them. So that's worked out well with me. But I do want to start to practice doing readings this way. I seem to have a little bit of a hard time because my mind wanders. I start reading what people are saying. I can't focus on spirit. But I want to start doing that, almost like platform readings. But the way that my readings work is depending on what kind you want, whether you want intuitive guidance or mediumship. I do pets and I do loved ones. Message me. I always put my email, so email me. You can find it on any of my videos, and then we'll meet up on Messenger of some sort, either Instagram, Facebook, whatever messenger you have, and we'll do the reading. Intuitive guidance runs off of questions. The more specific, the better. And, mediumship runs off of pictures. But I do want to try to, start on my lives doing readings, out of thin air. That's something I need to practice on. So you guys are going to have to be very patient with me with that because I haven't done a lot of those types of readings. I've done them before, but I haven't done them a lot. But I want to practice that because that's how, all the mediums do it these days. I want to be versatile. So basically that's how it works. And payment is due when you guys schedule. I am going up after the beginning of the year, but I am scheduled out until January. So I get whatever information they give me. I can't tell you what I'm going to get. Normally, no, they don't give birthdays. I have gotten birth dates, the whole birth date, but normally they just give months. Spirit isn't that specific. If you watch any of the other mediums, such as Matt Fraser or anybody like that, they don't get that kind of specific information. Spirit usually doesn't give, and that's not what's important. What's important is information that we would not possibly know. It doesn't have to be birthdays and stuff like that, because that's not what Spirit wants to talk about. They want to validate their personality. They want to validate things that they had with you that were special. Sorry, my son's here for Christmas. I want to validate things that were with you or special or whatever, but I never know what Spirit is going to give me. That's up to Spirit. I can't make them give me information. Names and stuff like that are harder to get for some reason. It can be done, but it just depends on what Spirit does, and all spirits are different. Some spirits are more, are stronger, and they communicate better. No, I don't ask for any of that. I just get, like I said, intuitive guidance if you have questions about your life or questions about whatever. A lot of people call it a psychic reading. I call it intuitive guidance because I'm channeling your guides on the guidance. So I go off of specific questions for those readings. Any kind of mediumship reading, if it's a pet or a person, it's a picture. Most recent seems to work best, but I can connect on any picture as long as they're by themselves and I can see their face and eyes. Eyes are really important. They always say eyes are the window to the soul. So that is true. It is easier to connect with a good picture. So, but like I was saying, I am wanting to try to get to do readings on live to where I can just kind of, pluck them out of the air and see who they fit for, and do a reading that way. Kind of like you see, these other mediums that they do platforms and things like that. John Edwards, Matt Fraser, Long Island Medium, and then we see where it fits. I want to try to start doing that because I've never really done that before, but I always wanted to. I want to see if my gifts work that way. I've given readings on live before. I did for my friend Donna one time. It was a few months ago. And that's actually on the live, the reading that I did. I don't remember. It's a few lives ago. I don't know. That was a really good reading, though. So I want to try to do more like that. Sorry about my bird. Yes, Marcy, you're welcome. So basically, it's either questions or a picture. And sometimes if you have questions about another person, I can usually just answer that. But if I need a better connection, then I'll take a picture of them as well. So it's usually just one or the other. Oh, we have 8 people here. I'm surprised for as early as I'm here. I'm going to. The problem is I get on here and I get exhausted all of a sudden, and I can't figure out why. I don't know if it's all you guys and your energy plus the spirit you bring with you or what. But as soon as I get on here, I just drain. So that's one reason that I haven't done it yet or tried it yet or anything like that. You guys are going to have to be patient because it's going to be something new with me. So I'm not really sure how it's going to go. But it is something I want to do in case I ever get into the situation where I have to do platforms and things like that. Yeah, I posted it. Watch the 3rd reading. Watch the 3rd reading, Alicia. It's all in there. I've tried to talk to divers, and I mean, I was told that they were working on it, but I haven't heard anything since. Without divers and equipment, it's basically impossible. There's only so much that we can do. Like, would you knock it off? I was watching Matt Fraser, and I was seeing the comments, and the guy's like, "Oh, this guy should be able to solve all the murder cases, all the missing persons cases." And yes, he could help with some. Maybe that's not his forte. Maybe he doesn't want to get into that, or maybe he does it and nobody even knows. But someone says, well, they can't use it in court, and I'm like, yes, they have used it in court. Noreen Renier actually was in court, and she helped catch the guy and put him in jail. And it's not up to us to solve the case or even find the body or find the person. It's up to law enforcement. We are here to give new insights, to give new clues, to push the investigation in a new way. If we get a location, that's awesome. Mostly it's just clues, and it's playing charades with Spirit. Spirit does that. Even in regular readings, they like to play charades. But I've noticed that my readings are more direct these days. It's the last video I did on here, the 3rd video. The 3rd video. Very last one. So it should be the last video that's posted for Summer Wells. I also, I don't know if I want to post the other readings I did on the Cali Boys. They're very confusing. They're all over the place. I'm not really sure why. Or I just want to try to do another one because I'm not done with that case. I want to try to work more on that case again. So and like I said, I need to get aerials posted. I think, where she was telling us is there's a lot of validation coming out about my readings, and that's why about the readings on her that I did right when she was said to be missing. And we had the cops go and find the backpack that they said is related to. She's just quiet until I get on here. I don't know why she does that. But the cops said it is related to her, and they were like, "Who is this girl?" They were asking about me, like, "Who's this psychic? And how did she know this was here?" And like, I don't know. And they're like, "Did she charge you?" And they're like, "No. She just, is helping us out." And like sometimes we can be led to evidence. It doesn't necessarily have to be the person. There's a lot of stuff that came in that reading that's now being validated. So that was kind of weird. The cops were kind of just like, who is this person and how did we find this bag? I haven't heard anything about it since, but there is stuff that's coming out, and when I do my video, I'll try to explain the stuff I got and what's been validated now. It's hard because I was in the middle of moving whenever I did that, and so I couldn't really, and then my computer broke, so I couldn't really type it up and do it, but I did it right when she went missing. My friend from Hawaii actually got in touch with me, and we worked on it. I was about to do Summer Wells when she got in touch with me, and I said, well, I'm going to do this one because she's just newly missing, and she needs the help. Oh, thank you, Mindy. You're so nice. That means a lot. And happy holidays, Christine. If you guys have TikTok and you have not followed me, please do so. I did post on my wall. If I can get 1,000 followers in there, I can try to do readings in there too. So this moving kind of screwed everything up financially for me, so this has become my full-time gig. And so far, it's still, even though I'm working my butt off and I'm drained from readings and I'm getting sick because I'm doing so much readings, energetically drained, I'm still not able to pay my bills, especially with Christmas here coming around. So, like I said, I'm still offering my deals, my deal till, at least the first of the year. There's few stragglers I'll still offer it to, and then, my old prices, but I'm going to be going up, sadly. I wish I could do everything for free, but, this is my full-time job now. So, and like I said, I'm trying to balance my personal readings with my cases, and I'm having a hard time doing that because cases are so draining and tiring, and so are readings. So I only have so much of me to go around, unfortunately. And right now, like I said, just trying to survive. Thank you, Stuart. I appreciate that. We have a lot more people here than I thought we were going to. I really thought it was going to be a bust. So I'm glad to have you guys here. Thank you for joining me. I know it was last minute. You know that whenever I go live, it's kind of on a whim, right? Sorry I do that to you guys, but that's just the way it is. It's whenever I feel like I can do it, whenever I have the time, and I'm not dying. So I wanted to talk about the new information that's come out on Delphi, and how it's validating the readings that I gave. Now, whether they're involved or not, I don't know. It kind of is feeling like, with all the validations, that it's a possibility. Now, remember, when I do readings, I get things that are going on in the case. So the fact that this was going to happen, it's a possibility. Because there's other people that I have gotten information on that ended up just being suspects and not anything. So sometimes I just get random information that could be any part of the case. So keep that in mind. However, the fact that I had gotten catfishing in the very, very beginning, the very first time I ever worked on Delphi. So that, to see that now there was a fake profile, that they possibly talked to Libby and Abby, and to have his name be Keegan. Now, if you go back into my auto writes, I said the name Keegan, which totally tripped me out, because guess what? That is not a name that you hear very often, right? So that blew my mind right there. And I said, what are the odds of that? And I remember I kept getting a J. Well, his dad's name starts with a J. It's Jerry. Jay had come in multiple times very strongly. They do possibly drive a semi to pull the race cars that they drive, which the race cars are all red. So that's just a few things. Keegan is a singer-songwriter. He travels. He has connections to the Big Apple, which the spirit calls it the Big Apple, but New York. There's just a lot of things that's fitting that is kind of making me wonder. And then I had posted in the group, they did an overlay of the sketches on them, and it's with Keegan, it's pretty dead on. The dad, but I remember saying it wasn't going to be an exact match. I didn't feel like the sketches were exact. So that was, like I said, very validating for that name to come out. That just blew my mind. So that's basically all I can think of on that. Information's trickling in from someone that I know that does investigative work. He's been looking into them. All the cars are black, I guess, that they drive. He has a black SUV, and I guess Kelsey, at that time when they did a regression on her, and she remembered a black SUV being at the front of the gate. So it just makes me wonder. It feels more, I think the circuit and the people involved, it's a bigger circle, right? It's a bigger circle than what we think. Like, it's not just them. Even if they decided to go and take the girls' lives and do whatever they did, I feel like they're still connected to more people. And as we know, I've always said that Ellis had something to do with it in one way or another, whether it's just connection or whatever. Now we know he's connected to Karina's because she flat out named him. And you can watch that reading. So she didn't give me any details like I've been hearing as far as, some of what people were saying. That was another one I wanted to go back to because I would really like, I worked with her grandmother a few times and I would really like to maybe come up with more of an area for her. But again, it's just up to spirit and how they explain things and how the information that they give. Sometimes it can be us. Sometimes we may not understand. We may not hear. We may not, know. We just not by be getting it as far as location is concerned. A location is very hard. It's very hard because, the energy, you kind of have to follow the energy, and it's just really hard if you think of how big the world is and all the places you could put a body and all the things you could do and how many things look the same. I know when I get information, it's very visual, meaning that I can see the area like I'm standing there. So if I'm looking at a map, sometimes I can feel things on the map, and then I can connect the two, like, well, maybe this looks like what I saw, but because I'm seeing it like in real time, like if I'm standing there, and I'm looking around, that's how I see it. So it's hard, like, to do locations from where I'm at if I can only see it from a map, I don't know if I'm probably not going to do another reading on Delphi. I think I've gotten all the information I'm going to get on that. 10 auto rights and 3 reads that were focused. Now that there's new information out, it can lead me, especially knowing the information. Especially knowing the information. I don't like to know things when I do readings. So now that I know what I know, it's just, I really don't feel like they're going to give me any more than what they already have. It would be beneficial. And if you remember this, I told you guys that with the auto rights, when I first started doing auto rights and I was trying to focus on one case, I didn't realize that I was going to get multiple cases past, present, and future in. So remember that with the auto rights. It's the same thing with Molly, because I did Molly and auto right with Molly. And so I didn't just get her. I also got Savannah and hers before she ever went missing. So my auto rights worked that way, and I wasn't aware at the time. So keep that in mind, that not everything that the auto rights are going to fit Delphi. Now the focus readings, mostly it's going to be mostly because they're more focused. But the auto rights, yes, I did get a lot of information, but not all of it's going to fit Delphi. Most of it will, but not all of it. So keep that in mind, because I think in auto right 10, Molly came up. The girl running in auto right 10, that was who we figured out to be Molly. And that's another case that I think is just not what people think it is. I remember one thing that she kept showing me, and I'm linking the two because somehow there's a link for them to do an interconnect like that. For them, and it was before she went missing that I got that information on her. But there's got to be a link. And I remember one thing that she always showed me, and that was the dude's boss. They have Christian in custody. Okay, his boss, that's who she kept showing me. I couldn't believe when I saw him and how much he looked like, the person that I have been seeing with the white hair and the glasses and all of that. And the fact that I got information on his son and stuff, like, why would Spirit say his son's dog's name? Like, if they're not involved somehow. I think there's some sort of sex trafficking ring that they're involved in because they're connected to the government. I don't even want to put all this out there, but I feel like he was friends when he said he doesn't remember. I really don't think he does. I think he was drugged and kind of like a patsy. And they're finding that stuff out now. I don't know if you guys have seen where they're actually appealing it, but they're finding out that there's other information that was missed, that because I saw her tied up and I couldn't make sense of it. Now that we know what's coming out and things that people are saying, because they think it is a sex trafficking ring and stuff like that. So anyways, I didn't mean to get off subject, but somehow they're linked, whether it be there's higher people involved in both of the cliques, both of the groups. I don't know. But there comes a point where you can only do so much on a case to where you're not getting really any much more helpful information. Like I know with Dulce, for some reason, her and the boys are the most confusing readings. The Cali boys are the most confusing readings I've ever done in my life. I don't know why. Dulce, she might be alive. That might be why. But I pulled in more cases than just her. Like I kept pulling in other cases that we're now seeing, well, that fits this case now. So,
hey, Mom,
what?
Can I have some more of that tea? Made the exact same way.
Yeah, when I'm done.
Shit.
Yeah, when I'm done. I'm not going to be on long because I need to go let the goats out and stuff. But, shoot, I don't know what I was saying now. What I was saying was that there's only so much information we can get. So like I was saying with Dulce, I did 6 different reads on her, and it really kind of led me nowhere, but there was multiple cases that seemed to come in. I think Andrea came in hers, and a few others that I ended up working at after. And the Cali boys, I did other reads on them that I didn't release because they're just so confusing. Like, I don't even understand them. I understand what happened to them. It's the location that's confusing and all the stuff they're giving in regards to that. So it was like 1 minute they show me desert, and the next minute they're showing me like, water in the tunnels where the water comes out, like that goes under like, bridges and stuff. I can't think of what they're called, the round things. So seriously. So yeah. There only comes so much information that we can get. And now that we know this about Keegan and stuff, it's just I like to go in blind. I don't like to feel led by any information. If we go back over, they're so quiet until I get on here, I swear. If you go back over all the auto writes and all the focused reads for Delphi, there's information there. So you just got to go back over it because all the information is there already. Because it was a lot of information. It was a lot of information. A lot. Like more than I've ever done in any other reading. And it's all there. There's no point to really do another reading. And Spirit will tell me stop. Like, that's it. You're done with this case. Or there's not much more you can get. Or whatever. So that's why I'm probably not going to. He's my lovers. Hello, Eagles 48. So I know I kind of get off on tangents. Sorry. I did post. Hey, no. I did post another reading that I did. Now I had started doing. I just not really deep reads in the group. I had people post missing cases, and I said, well, when I get time and energy, I'll come in here. I'll do a quick reading. Now it's not going to be as focused. It'll be kind of like an auto because I'm doing it by myself. So I don't have anybody to walk me through. Like when I take cases, I usually work with a group. I swear, I usually work with a group. Well, that group will keep me focused by saying yes as I get the information. So it won't be as focused and probably not as deep. They're so quiet till I get on here. I'm sorry, guys. I swear I don't know why they do that. I don't know if they feel the energy. I don't know if they just want to be involved. It's just the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. So I don't know if you guys saw that case or if I should actually talk about it right now. Because I do want to do also when I work those cases in the group, not only am I going to post them in the group, I'm going to post them on the wall and eventually hopefully do a video. I can't promise because videos take a lot of time. But so I don't know if you guys saw that case. Let me see. I kind of just went with, and that's what I'm going to do, is go with the ones I'm drawn to. That way I can get more cases knocked out, at least information on it, even if it's not a lot of information. And I don't know, it might take someone from the area to know where I'm describing, because like I said, I just got descriptions, and I just get descriptions on a lot of things. Unfortunately, it's hard to get street names and stuff, which I have done in the past. And my readings are growing, so we never know. Because my gifts have grown a lot. And that shows in the readings that I've done as of late. And the information that I've gotten has been just so so specific. It's been really good. Angie, glad that you're here. I was kind of didn't think anybody was going to show up, so it's good to see you guys. All right, so this one was Jennifer Carla Dad. So I did post her. I don't know anything about the case. This has not even been out there. The only reason I saw it is someone posted it on the post that I said to post it on. I have not heard anything about this case at all. At all. Other than they have, the suspect on there that he got shot shortly after she went missing. Which is her boyfriend, of course. Shocker. So, do you guys want me to go over that now, or do you just want to read it on the wall? Tell me what you want me to do, because I really don't know what you guys want me to talk about. I've moved. As you can see, there's more light because I have windows. But I'm adjusting because, things aren't set up the way that I want them set up, with my dogs and stuff. So it's going okay. But like I said, I'm having to do this full time now, and I'm having to really jump into it and really make it my work. And totally wish I could do it for free, but this is like my full-time job. I looked for full-time jobs from home. Every time I try to find a job or something, I hit a roadblock. So it's like Spirit is telling me, no, you need to keep doing your readings. No, you need to keep doing your cases. No, this is what we want you to do. So that's what I'm doing. And I have noticed being here, it's weird. Like, okay, my other house, I didn't feel anxiety or anything like that. But ever since I've been here in this house, I feel anxiety constantly. And I don't really know what it is. I don't know if it's because I moved, because there's so much change, or because I'm feeling and sensing spirit more. I actually did a reading, and she said it's okay if I talk about it. Because I actually did a TikTok about it. Because I was like asking people, well, what should I do for my TikTok? Because if you guys have any ideas, please let me know. I need to grow it so that I can do live readings for donations. There are lots of psychic tarot, like psychic mediums do that. They do freaking like the rods and easy stuff and get donations. And it's like I could totally do stuff on there and help out my business. So anything that I can make a 3-minute video on, I'm down to hear. So one of the things was, I said, well, I guess I'll talk about one of the most, there's been hundreds of readings, and I don't remember when I do the readings, but for some reason, these certain things stuck out in my mind. And I think it's because it was just so like, holy crap. So I've actually had this client for years. I've done many readings on many loved ones and intuitive guidance and things like that. My clients always come back, which I love. So I have return clients. And she wanted to gift the reading to her daughter who lost her fiance about a week before when she actually it was less than a week when she contacted me. But I said, well, I like to wait a week before I connect with anybody. If you want to go ahead and make an appointment, we'll, push it. And it got pushed out a little bit more because, hold on, my mom is messaging me. Anyways, so when I connected to him, he kept talking about his blood pressure and his heart. He's very adamant. He was repeating it and repeating it. And I said, but still, I'm getting like chest, like I can't breathe. And I did hear COVID. And we kind of said COVID at the same time. But I said, that's not what he passed of. I said, it created a perfect storm, but his real passing was from his heart. And I said there was a genetic factor, which it was. It did run in his family. And a few days later, and I'm getting chills right now, and a few days later, I got contacted by my client's mom. And she said, no one knew that. She said, we didn't even know that he passed of a heart issue until we got the autopsy back. She said, we all thought it was COVID, but it was his heart. And that's what the autopsy said. Surprising, because you know how they try to do COVID these days. So that was very validating. And the thing was, he kept being adamant about it because I don't know if she didn't realize it or what, but she wasn't really validating it. Her mom's who validated it for me, like really validated it. And he talked about an ice rink, because he kept showing me skating. I said, what is it with the skating and the ice and the snow? And she said, oh, he used to play hockey. We're building an ice rink for him, for his kids. And I said, okay, and there's a bench. What's up with the bench, the memorial bench? I said, oh yeah, we want to put a memorial bench at the his resting place, but we'll probably put one at the rink now too. And he talked about his nickname that she always called him. I kept seeing a teddy bear. I guess she used to always call him Teddy Bear. I got the name of their son they used to call. They have a nickname for the son. Got that. The fact that she had 2 kids, I wasn't aware. The fact that they were together since they were kids, wasn't aware of that. The fact that I thought they were married, but they weren't. But he had showed me them being proposed, him proposing, and then he showed me a wedding because that's what they were working towards. And I described the proposal. There was so much in that reading. I'm probably going to say this wrong, so don't shoot the messenger, but Obajiwa, it's a Cree, but I didn't know that. Well, they're Cree. And I don't even know where that word came from. It was kind of cool. And I was able to let her know that there was nothing that she could have done. Even if she would have called the ambulance sooner, even if she would have went to the hospital, there was nothing more that could have been done. It was too late. This is a heart issue that no one knew about. He didn't even know about it. And there was absolutely nothing that could be done about it. So after this reading, and that's only a few things that I can remember. I'm sure there's a lot more, but I don't remember my readings, but those are just a few things that stick out. And so the mom just told me yesterday, because I asked her, I said, can I talk about this reading? Because the dude, he bugs me, and I don't have spirits do that, but he came in my dreams the other night. I told her, I said, I dream about this guy, and I don't remember what it was. And I guess he's coming to the family members' dreams and stuff. He's a pretty strong spirit, so it was easy to connect to him. I wish they were all that easy. It was super easy. But she hadn't been able to go home, and I know how that feels. After Rocky passed away, I didn't go home for a month, and when I did go home, I had to paint things and change it, do different stuff. So she told me, she said she went home. She went home. She was able to go home after that, and she could not go home. So, and that was one of her questions, and he did answer it, that she needed to do what she needed to do as far as healing was concerned. But, she could go home and she felt like it was okay. And he was going to be around her anyways, Our spirits, our loved ones never leave us. That's what readings are about. That's the whole point of readings, is not to prove who we are. It's to give the sitter or the client, the loved one, it's to let them know that their loved ones are very much around. And that's a good thing to talk about now that Christmas season is here. Everybody talks about, well, I don't have this loved one and I don't have that one loved one. Yes, you do have this loved one. And yes, you do have that loved one. They're just in spirit form, but they haven't gone anywhere. They're still very much alive on the other side. And that's proof by when we connect, when people like me connect with them. It's And when you get validating information like that, there's no way I could have known any of that, any of it. And even if there is stuff that I know, when I'm in reading mode, I don't think of any of that stuff. I just give what I get, and I will never say anything unless it is told to me by spirit. So even in cases, right? I know a lot of people say, well, that information's already out. Well, for one, I don't watch the news. For two, I try not to know anything when I go into a reading because it makes the best readings. Sorry, my camera is kind of weird because I don't know where my camera is. Don't know where my my nice clear camera. So with the move, I hope I grabbed it because I lost a lot of my stuff because we couldn't fit it in the U-Haul. Anyways, back to what I was saying. If I can remember what I was saying. I have a little bit of ADHD, so that's why sometimes you see me going all over the place. Guess what? Gifted people got ADHD. I didn't have it until after I got my gifts. So that's kind of sometimes why I kind of go all over the place, and I apologize for that. But they'll just come up stuff that I need to talk about. And why we have that, I don't know. I don't know. So what I was saying is that the reason why people like me have gifts and are able to do this is so that we can give peace to those that are left behind and let them know that they will be with their loved ones one day. Our loved ones have never left us. Unfortunately, we all have our time and place to go. We're never promised tomorrow. We're just here learning lessons. We're all gonna go one time or another. Whose anniversary? It's okay. It's okay. You don't need to bark. You're fine. Don't listen to her. She's just going off like an idiot out there. Okay, Angie, you're gonna have to tell me what you mean by that. Whose 1 year anniversary? Okay. Marcy. It was 9 years ago. I'm 39, so 30. I was always sort of intuitive when I was a child. I felt like I was being watched. I had imaginary friends. I didn't know any of that stuff at the time. It's not like I saw spirits and stuff that I remember. You don't always remember everything about their childhood, right? So I was always kind of intuitive. But I didn't really get into my gifts until my husband passed away about 9 years ago, which was my twin flame, which I did write a book about to try to help others understand the twin flame experience and abuse and passing to the other side and lessons and all of that. So yeah, I did not really get into my gifts until 9 years ago when I was about 30 years old. So after he passed away, I wanted so desperately to connect, and it was like my heart chakra and everything broke open, and I was open to it. When to become open to it, and I noticed that a lot of people, when they have a shocking experience, a near-death experience, they lose a loved one, and they're very shattered over it, and they become more open, and they kind of shift because you have to become very open in order to do this kind of work. You have to be like into it. Like I would start researching, and you kind of get obsessed. Like start researching, start learning about gifts and things like that. Just doing that will open you up. Then comes the meditation. But it all started when he started doing crap around the house, and I was like, what is going on? Like he's haunting me. I know he's got something to say. What the heck is he trying to say? And I reached out to a medium. Actually, we always find people by chance, right? Someone randomly was like, oh, I know this medium, and I had never heard of her before. I said, cool, have her come give me a reading. And she did. And she told me a couple days before, all this weird stuff was happening with her. And she came over and she gave me a reading. It was very validating. Um, and after that, I had a few different readings. Um, that's when I linked up with my mentor that had told me, yeah, we were twin flames, and yes, I had gifts, and yes, I needed to expand on them, and I could be doing readings right now. So I started with card readings. I started with auto writing. I would auto write my husband, and I would auto write Jesus. Believe it or not, you can do that. Um, and he talks differently, than any other spirits. Like, he'll say my dear or my child. Um, I met another medium, and she was telling me how I needed to clear my house because I had some experiences there that were scary experiences, and it was because I was opening up, but there was something bad in the house. My mom used to get sick every time she come out there. She's psychic. So this is a generational thing for me too. My grandma was very, back then, they didn't talk about it though. Better not be psychic, you better not be a medium, better not be anything like that back in those days. My grandma was very open spiritually. Like, we found cards for clairvoyance and stuff. And I've heard that, my great grandma was gifted. She was born with a veil over her face. That's supposed to be very gifted when you're born like that. My mom, she's always seen spirits. She's always been very, very psychic. Can't get really anything by her these days. So it is generational. It's just I didn't open it up. Like, you have to open it. You have to want it. You have to be. It comes a point where you are like, okay, I'm going to give myself to this work. I was, so like I had a bad experience where there was this dark thing in my house, and one night it grabbed my wrist and it pushed it back, and all I could feel was pain in my wrist, and I was being pushed back in the bed, and I just started praying and praying and praying, and I opened my eyes, and this shadow, like, it was weird, crawled across the ceiling and down the wall, and I got up and I talked to that lady I was talking to, that medium, and she's like, okay, I'm going to tell you how to cleanse your house. Let's do it. So I had a lot of mentors that I ended up with along the way. Um, like I said, God will just pop people into your life, and they are there to help you. And my mentor sadly passed away about 3 years ago. But I would not be where I am without her, because she really got me into doing readings. She got me into connecting to the other side. She got me into a deeper understanding of how things work and all that. Um, then after that, like I said, I started doing card readings, and everybody just kept saying, "Oh, these are really accurate." And it was more like an intuitive thing. I didn't really know what the cards meant. And then that's like what helped open me up too, is like when you work with tools and stuff, they can help open you up. And then I said, you know what? I need to make a grief group that's going to help people like me, because I had help and I don't know where I would be. And so I opened up a grief group and ended up with a lot of members. And I would just start talking to people and giving them advice because I had been there. But it was like the advice wasn't coming from me. It was like I was channeling it, and I didn't even know I was channeling it. That's what was really weird. And that's another way that my auto writing came out. It's just how I connect best. And because I can also, I'm able to focus on just spirit. And so I had that grief group, and then the next thing you know, I'm doing readings. I started hearing other spirits besides my husband. I'll never forget the very first reading I did. And the thing that kind of blew me away, I was talking to, and I think I'm still in contact with her if I remember correctly. We were, she had posted her son, and I got this overwhelming urge to just start telling her stuff. And I asked her, "Is it okay if I tell you this stuff?" And she said, "Yeah." And so I started giving her a reading, and I said, "Now, what does mashed potatoes mean? Like, it's random, like, but you just say what you get. You don't question it, because you don't know if it's going to fit. You don't know if it's going to fit the sitter or what. And normally it does. I mean, it might not make sense to you, but it's not supposed to make sense to you. This is their reading." So I said it. I said, "What is it? What is it with mashed potatoes?" She said, "Oh my God, I'm making mashed potatoes right now." And we were floored at that point. And I said, "Well, he must be standing right there watching me make mashed potatoes, because that's what he's showing me that you're doing." And so that was my turning point right there, that reading. And I just kept doing free readings and free readings, and they practice make perfect. And so I did it for a long time until I got really good. And then I said, you know what, I got to start charging because this is a lot of time and energy, and this is the only thing I'm doing for work. So and then I've been doing it. I've been doing it for 9 years. But there came a point where I was like, okay, I want to do cases. I want to do missing persons. Makes sense. I got a Libra moon. We're all about the scales, all about justice. And it's weird because when you look back in my chart that my grandma had done for me when I was little, and she had an astrology chart, it talks about all this. It talks about me being gifted. It talks about me being about justice. It's crazy. I hope I didn't leave it when I left, because like I said, I left a lot of stuff. Um, but it was just nuts. And when I read that back, I said, "Wow, this is all the work I'm doing right now." So it's always been destined for me to do it. And yeah, after that, I just I got in touch. That's when I started working the first podcast with the private investigator, and I worked with uh, the old, I guess he was an old lawyer, an old DA, and he was very open, and we would talk for hours, and I would tell him stuff that he's like, "How do you know that? Like, no one knows that." Like something about the guy going out the back door, and just evidence that no one knew. And he's like, "How do you know?" I don't know. I'm just telling you what they're giving me. So, and that's how it kind of started for me. And I don't know if I've ever told you guys that whole story, but that's how it started. Um, I don't see them now. You guys have to remember, everybody's gifted differently. I don't see things with my eyes. And some people do, but it takes a lot for spirit to manifest like that, and a lot for you to see them like that. It's very rare that you have anybody see them that way. I see them in my mind's eye, uh, if they show themselves to be. Normally they don't need to because I'm looking at a picture. But if for some reason I'm doing a regular reading or a random reading, and I'm like, hey, does this, they show themselves, and I try to describe them. So that's how I see them. But I don't, I see everything in my mind's eye. I hear everything in my mind's eye. That's like, you guys talk about these signs. Oh, why aren't they giving me signs? Why aren't they doing this? Why aren't they doing that? Well, they are. You're just not recognizing them. Hollywood and TV has made it seem like you're supposed to have like some jet fly across that says, "Hey, it's me," or something. It's not how it works. It's very subtle. Those memories that pop in your head from time to time, that's your loved one. You're thinking about one of them at one random moment. That's your loved one. You hear somebody say something that they would have said, or you say something they would have said, or just a thought pops in your head. That's your loved one. And then you get the songs that remind you of them. Yes, they do the butterflies, the pennies, all of that kind of stuff. Anything that they can do a lot. They can manipulate the lights. They can manipulate energy. So anything that makes you think of that loved one is a sign from them. But it's not like usually something huge. Otherwise, my husband was really big with signs, and it was because so that I would believe him. And I would write them down. And I hope I still have all that information. I'm just realizing, like, I hope I didn't leave all this stuff at the house. But I would write everything down, and that's what you need to do, because it's good, because then you can go back and you can look and you can be like, you know what, this happened this day, that was a sign. And you will realize how many signs you actually get from your loved ones if you do that. People don't realize, I had this memory this day, or I heard this one, I heard this day, or I saw a hawk at a random moment. Like, there's still songs that come on the radio randomly that make me smile. I'd like to think that's my loved ones. So I go off rambling again. But I feel like I'm talking about things that you guys need to hear. Spirit does that to me sometimes. They will give me things to talk about. Now, TikTok, I'm not that great because it's 3 minutes, right? I'm a jibber jabber, and I talk and talk and talk. So it's hard for me to put this stuff that I want to say to you in 3 minutes. And around Christmas time, it's good to know that your guys' loved ones are with you. They didn't go anywhere. They're not gone. They just transformed into. They just dropped their shell like we have, and they just transformed. And you can still talk to them. You can still hear, you can hear them. They come in the form of thoughts. It's not like they're going to scream in your ear, but it's the form of thoughts that come out of nowhere. Let's see. A friend who went on a channel with a spirit box. I connected with Candace, spirit guide one summer. He asked Candace what she did. Yeah, you can't. Okay, when it comes to spirit boxes, they're like, okay. Any spirit can say anything. And there are tricksters out there. We have the lower energies, we have the lower, the people, the lower astral plane, where you have the demons and the lower energies that, yeah, they can come through, and say anything that they want to say. It doesn't mean that it's factual. Okay, there's a lot of tricksters out there, so you got to be careful with the spirit boxes, because you don't know who you're talking to and you don't know what's coming through. It's a little different when you're channeling as a medium, and the reason why I say that is because we have our guides to push away the negative energies. We have our guides to make sure that we have guides that are called gatekeepers, okay? And other guides that work with us. So those guides will only allow the spirits to come through that we want to talk to. My guides are pretty badass. I don't walk around and just get random spirits in my ear or anything like that. If I go to a haunted place, I feel things, I see things. Like when I went to Tombstone, I had a couple experiences there. My body felt very heavy, things like that. But I'm not like just walking around, and I'm very blocked off with that. When I'm not connected, I can shut it off. And a lot of good mediums should be able to do that. There are ones like Long Island Medium, I guess, that just don't, but I only work when I'm ready to work. Spirit will know I'm ready to work when I clear my chakras, when I tell you how the reading works, and then we're good to go. But our guides protect us from the lower energies. That's why whenever people tell me online, oh, you're talking to a demon, oh, well, get the out of here. I know who I'm talking to, and it ain't no demon, because I trust my guides. I'm working for God. Get the hell out. So I don't think that, because I didn't get that Angie. If you watch the last reading I did on her, the other stuff, there's a lot of information that came out in the first two readings, but the last reading, that's what happened. Hey, Jamie. I'm glad we don't have any trolls today. The last time I was on live, we could not get rid of them no matter how many times we blocked them. So, and that was the first time that's ever happened to me. It's freaking annoying. My camera isn't bad on this computer, but it's I miss my camera. My dogs are just barking today. So, anyways, I don't know. No one answered me if they wanted me to read that information I got on Jennifer Caradad. If you do want me to read it on the live right now, I have it. But otherwise, I posted it. It's in the group, and it's in it's on the post. I'm able to do cases from a long time ago. I have actually. There's one on my there's one that's like from the 19 I don't know, back old times, when there's like gangsters and gambling and mafia and all that was big. That case is actually on my cases. Someone had me do that. That was a really fun case. Um, but yeah, I can do cases that are older. They don't have to be recent. I've done other cold cases. Um, shoot, I've done readings on people's loved ones that are like been gone like 50 years. Now, sometimes that's a little harder. They don't come through as strong. I think that I mentioned him in like Delphi auto writes or something. I don't. But yeah, I mean, I can always try, but I can't promise anything because I don't even know. So, I mean, that one would be hard. I don't know if you're trying to find out who Jack the Ripper is or I don't know, but I try to do what's prevalent now because that would be just something that's out of fun because I mean, what's the point of really? I mean, yes, there's a point